They don't want you to see this. Life inside maximum security prison. For more real crime stories, be sure to subscribe, like, share, and let's discuss your thoughts in the comments. The footage was never meant to be seen. A guard's hidden body camera caught it, a grainy blue-tinted hallway, echoing footsteps, and the sound of muffled cries. In the next frame, a door slams shut inside California's Pelican Bay State Prison, one of America's most feared maximum security facilities. A man in orange, his face swollen and eyes wide with terror, is dragged down the corridor by two correctional officers. "Turn the camera off," one of them shouts. But the camera doesn't stop recording. That video, leaked months later, would expose what really goes on inside walls built to keep not just inmates in, but truth out. The footage revealed the darkest corners of a place where time stands still, where survival isn't about hope, it's about control. And yet, this was only the beginning. What was hidden inside that cell would shake the entire prison system. Before the world saw that footage, before the uproar and the investigations, there was just one man, Marcus Hill. He was 34, serving a life sentence for armed robbery, a sentence that started as punishment but became something else entirely. Marcus had already spent 12 years in solitary confinement, 23 hours a day alone in a small concrete box. His only company was silence, broken by the occasional sound of chains clinking in the hall. In his early years inside, Marcus tried to play by the rules. He cleaned floors, kept his head down, and wrote letters to his mother every Sunday. But Pelican Bay wasn't built for peace. It was built for control. Even the air felt heavy, full of anger, fear, and whispers that something wasn't right. Guards rotated often, but some names kept coming up among inmates, officers who handled problems in ways no one dared talk about. Then came the incident that changed everything. It started one night during lockdown. Marcus heard a faint voice calling from the next cell. It was Daniel Ross, a new inmate barely 21, in for burglary. "They're coming for me," Daniel whispered through the vent. Marcus told him to stay calm, but within minutes, boots echoed down the hall. Flashlights swept the cells. Doors clinked open. Marcus pressed his ear to the wall. He heard Daniel begging, "Please, I didn't do anything." Then came a sound, a thud, then another, and another. The lights flickered. Silence followed. Marcus didn't sleep that night. By morning, Daniel's cell was empty. No one spoke about it, not even the guards. But a week later, a folded note appeared under Marcus's cell door. No name, no handwriting he recognized. It said only 5 words. "They don't want you to see this." And taped to the back of that note was a small memory card. Marcus stared at the tiny memory card like it was a live wire. His heart pounded so hard he could hear it echo through the cold concrete walls. In a place where every word was watched and every move was recorded, having something like this could mean punishment, or worse. Still, curiosity burned through his fear. What could possibly be on it? And who sent it? That night, when the block went dark, Marcus slipped the card into a smuggled prison radio that had been modified to read files. The screen flickered weakly, and a grainy video began to play. The first image was the inside of a solitary cell, small, dirty, and bathed in a pale blue light. The camera angle was strange, as if it was hidden behind a vent. And then Marcus froze. It was Daniel, the young inmate who'd vanished. He was sitting on the floor, rocking back and forth, whispering something Marcus couldn't hear. The timestamp showed it was filmed just hours before Daniel disappeared. Then the sound of footsteps grew louder, and 2 shadows entered the frame. The camera shook violently, then went black. Marcus replayed the clip 3 times before realizing what it meant. Someone inside the prison had secretly filmed that night. Someone wanted the truth to get out. Over the next few days, Marcus couldn't stop thinking about it. He hid the card under a loose tile beneath his bed, but the fear stayed with him. Every guard's glance felt heavier. Every cell search more suspicious. Inmates whispered about Daniel, saying he'd been transferred to another facility, but no one believed it. Transfers didn't happen in the middle of the night. One evening, during dinner call, Marcus overheard 2 guards talking near the cafeteria doors. "If anyone asks about Ross," one said, "just say he resisted." The other laughed. Resisted what? Breathing. Marcus lowered his tray, pretending not to listen, but the message was clear. Daniel was gone, and the people in charge wanted to keep it quiet. That night, Marcus made a decision. He would find a way to get the footage out. But that meant trusting someone, and in Pelican Bay, trust was a luxury that could get you killed. He remembered an older inmate named Reggie, who worked in the laundry room and had connections with outside workers. Reggie was smart, careful, and had once helped another prisoner send letters past inspection. Marcus waited 3 days before making his move. During laundry duty, he slipped Reggie a folded note. Need to send something out. Urgent. Reggie didn't reply, just nodded slowly. The next morning, Marcus woke to the sound of alarms blaring through the block. Red lights flashed across the walls, and guards flooded the hall with batons drawn. One of them shouted through a megaphone, "Cell inspection." Everyone against the wall. Marcus's stomach dropped. They were coming for him. He looked down. The floor tile where he'd hidden the memory card was gone. Marcus's heart slammed in his chest as guards stormed into his cell. Hands on the wall, one barked, shoving him hard against the concrete. The room filled with the sound of drawers and tiles being ripped apart. He kept his eyes fixed forward, trying to hide the panic in his voice. "What's going on?" he asked, but no one answered. A lieutenant entered, tall, clean-cut, with cold blue eyes that seemed to see straight through him. "You've been getting too curious, Hill," he said quietly, "asking about things that don't concern you." Then he held up the memory card between 2 fingers. Marcus froze. "How did you?" The lieutenant cut him off. "Let's take a walk." 2 guards grabbed Marcus by the arms and dragged him out of the cell. The hallway was dimly lit, the air thick with bleach and sweat. Other inmates pressed against their doors, watching in silence. Everyone knew what it meant when the guards came for you after lights out. You might not come back. They led Marcus through a locked steel door he'd never seen open before. It led to the old administrative wing, long shut down and off-limits. The fluorescent lights flickered as they shoved him into a small, windowless room. A table sat in the center, covered with files, and a single metal chair. The lieutenant placed the memory card on the table. "You think you're some kind of hero, Hill?" he asked. "You think you can save the world with this?" Marcus didn't speak. The lieutenant leaned closer. "Let me make something clear. What happens in this facility stays here. Men like you," he paused, smirking. "You don't get to rewrite the rules." He snapped his fingers, and the guards left the room, leaving Marcus alone with him. The lieutenant pulled out a small black device, a recorder. "Tell me who gave this to you," he demanded. Marcus shook his head. "I found it." "Wrong answer," the lieutenant said, slamming his hand down. "Do you have any idea what you're risking?" Marcus stared straight ahead. "Yeah, the truth." The lieutenant's expression hardened. Without another word, he stood up, pocketed the card, and walked to the door. Before stepping out, he turned back and said, "You'll stay in solitary until you remember something useful." The door slammed shut behind him. Days passed, maybe weeks. Time had no meaning in the isolation unit. The lights never turned off, and the silence felt alive. But on the 5th night, something strange happened. A soft tapping came from the vent. 3 slow knocks, then 2 quick ones. Marcus froze. It was a code inmates sometimes used, a way to communicate between cells. He tapped back. The answer came immediately. "You're not alone." Then a small piece of paper slid under the door. Written in shaky handwriting were the words, "We still have a copy." Marcus stared at it in disbelief. Somehow, the footage had survived. And now, whoever sent that note wanted him to know, the truth wasn't buried yet.